All right, let's jump right in. Welcome back. Today we're diving into something that could literally change how you use your phone. We are breaking down exactly how to unlock a T-Mobile phone so you can finally gain total cellular freedom. So, picture this. You've just touched down in this beautiful foreign country. You head straight to an airport kiosk, you buy a cheap local SIM card to avoid those massive roaming fees, and you pop it into your phone. But instead of connecting to the local network, your screen flashes an error message. Your phone is completely locked down by your home carrier. Frustrating, right? It's a super common problem, but the good news is it is entirely fixable. Okay, let's dive into this. Why even bother unlocking your phone? Well, it's not just some nerdy technical trick, it offers immense practical value. An unlocked phone gives you ultimate carrier freedom. I mean, you literally get to choose who provides your service. It also allows for way cheaper international travel because you can just hop on local networks. And, perhaps most importantly for your wallet, unlocked phones hold a much higher hardware resale value. Think of this explainer as your personal blueprint to device freedom. Here is our blueprint for today. First, T-Mobile's eligibility rules. Second, the step-by-step unlocking process. Third, troubleshooting common errors. Fourth, maximizing your unlocked device in FAQs. And fifth, final takeaways and a quick disclaimer. Part 1, T-Mobile's eligibility rules, covering postpaid, prepaid, and military exceptions. So what is carrier locking anyway? It's essentially an embedded software restriction used by wireless providers. Historically, it's how they secure their investment in you and manage the risk if you default on your hardware payments. Now, T-Mobile, just like all the other carriers, has very specific criteria you have to meet before they'll remove that lock. The really crucial thing to understand here is the stark contrast in how T-Mobile treats different account types. For postpaid accounts, you're on a fast track. Your device just needs to be active on the T-Mobile network for at least 40 days, fully paid off, and if your account was canceled, it has to have a $0 balance. Simple enough, right? But prepaid accounts, they face a much stricter commitment. The device actually has to be active for a full 365 days. But there is a financial override. If you've had over $100 in refills during that active period, and it's been at least 14 days since you bought it, you can actually speed up the process. Oh, and keep in mind, both account types require an unblocked IMEI and limit you to a maximum of 2 device unlocks per line every 12 months. Now, there is a massive exception here, and it brilliantly illustrates how things can shift based on circumstances. Deployed military personnel who are customers in good standing get to bypass those standard network residency and installment plan requirements entirely. All they have to do is provide official overseas deployment or relocation orders directly to customer care, and they'll manually push the override commands to the phone. Moving on to part 2, the step-by-step unlocking process, executing the unlock on iOS and Android. All right, now that we know the rules, let's talk about execution. Once you're eligible, T-Mobile actually tries to automate this remotely within 2 business days. But manual steps are frequently required. So let's look at how to push this through yourself, starting with Apple iOS devices. Now, unlike Androids, iPhones don't use unlock codes. They actually rely on a highly secure cryptographic handshake with Apple's central activation servers. So first, verify your status. Go to Settings, General, About, and look for Carrier Lock. If it says no SIM restrictions, you are good to go. But if it's locked and you know you're eligible, you have to contact T-Mobile Care to submit the request. Once they approve it on the back end, you just insert a new carrier's SIM card and restart the phone to trigger that handshake. If you don't have a new SIM, no worries. You'll just need to back up your iPhone, erase it completely, and restore it from that backup to pull down the updated lock state. Okay, let's switch gears to Android users, especially those on newer Samsung devices. This process is actually handled locally right on the device. You just navigate to Settings, then Connections, more connection settings, and finally Network Unlock. You'll select Permanent Unlock, wait for the little success prompt, and restart the device. Easy. Now, if you're rocking a Google Pixel or an older Android device, you won't use the Settings menu. Instead, you'll need to go download or locate the specific T-Mobile Device Unlock app from the Google Play Store. You hit Check Eligibility, select Permanent Unlock, and reboot. Section 3, Troubleshooting Common Errors. Diagnosing and fixing roadblocks. Look, we've covered the ideal scenarios, but let's be realistic. Technical glitches happen. If you hit an error during this manual unlocking phase, don't panic. The diagnostic codes you might see are incredibly common and usually super easy to fix. But that brings us to the most infamous roadblock of all, the dreaded error code 9. If you see a number 9 pop up on your screen during the unlock process, your device is hard stopped. But why? Well, error code 9, or reason code 9, basically points to a fundamental eligibility failure. Usually, this means there's an unresolved financial balance on the phone, or you just haven't hit that 40-day usage window yet. This is super common if you bought the phone secondhand and the original owner didn't pay off their contract. Or your 15-digit IMEI might just be unregistered in T-Mobile's database. To fix it, first, verify the payoff status. Next, disconnect from Wi-Fi, completely disable any VPNs you have running, and try the unlock on cellular data. You should also clear the Network Unlock app cache in your settings. If literally all else fails, you can reach out to T-Mobile's specialized support team. They're often called T-Force on social channels, to manually sync your IMEI. Now, what's really interesting here is how completely different errors 5 and 6 are. While error 9 is a strict financial or policy block, errors 5 and 6 are basically just technical hiccups. Error 5 is an app or server socket failure, meaning the app literally can't talk to T-Mobile. You can usually solve this by just updating the device unlock app, clearing the cache, and trying again during off-peak hours. Error 6? That's a database sync timeout. For this one, the best bet is to switch off your cellular data, connect to a strong private Wi-Fi network, reinstall the app, and try again. Section 4. Maximizing your unlocked device and FAQs. What happens after you unlock? Fantastic! You navigated the rules, executed the steps, bypassed the errors, and your phone is officially unlocked. You're free. But let's look at how to maximize that newly liberated hardware. Say you're on the other side of this journey, meaning you just unlocked a phone from AT&T or Verizon and you want to bring it to T-Mobile. You absolutely must run your device's 15-digit IMEI through T-Mobile's online Bring Your Own Device Checker. See, just because a phone is unlocked doesn't mean its internal radio transceiver perfectly matches your new carrier's network spectrum. Your device will register in one of 3 ways: fully compatible, partially compatible, which means it works but might lack optimal 5G speeds, or incompatible, meaning it physically cannot connect to the required signal bands. And that leads right into one of the most frequently asked questions we get. How do I know the network will even be good in my area before I commit? Well, the answer is the T-Mobile trial, which used to be called the Network Pass. If your device is unlocked and has an eSIM, you can just download the T-Life app and test the T-Mobile network completely seamlessly for 30 days, entirely for free. The really brilliant part? You do this while keeping your current primary number and carrier active on your physical SIM. It's basically the ultimate zero-risk test drive. Section 5. Final takeaways and disclaimer. Wrapping up your journey to cellular freedom. We have covered a ton of ground in this explainer today, navigating from those foundational eligibility rules all the way through some pretty advanced troubleshooting codes. Let's wrap up this journey. To summarize, before you do anything, verify that your device is completely paid off and that you've met the minimum active days on the network. That's 40 days for postpaid, 365 for prepaid. Once you're eligible, execute the unlock through your device's native settings for newer phones or iPhones, or use the dedicated unlock apps for legacy Androids. If you found this explainer helpful in your own quest for device freedom, please leave a like, drop a comment with your unlocking experience, and subscribe so you never miss our deeply researched guides. Real quick, before we completely sign off, it is essential we look at the official policy disclaimer. All carriers, including T-Mobile, absolutely reserve the right to deny unlocking requests if they suspect an effort to defraud the company. This is to protect against the resale with stolen property and ensure financial obligations are actually met. Always ensure your account is in good standing so you don't end up having your device's IMEI permanently blocked. I want to leave you with a final, kind of provocative thought to ponder. You go to a store, you hand over $1,000 in cash, and you pay full retail price for a piece of hardware. Yet, until you jump through these very specific administrative hoops and request a carrier unlock, that device's core functionality is still restricted by a third party. So it begs the question, if you paid full price for your phone, who really owns it until it's unlocked? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next one.